Class, we'll start today with our Chandra Bhagwan's mantra in the Ashtadikpalakas mantra. The shloka is Om Shankahastaya Vidmahe Nidhishwaraya Dhimahi Tannaha Somaha Prachodayat. Today is Soma Bhagavan. Just keep chanting. Om Shankahastaya Vidmahe Nidhishwaraya Dhimahi तन्नः सोमः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शङ्खहस्ताय विद्महे निधीश्वराय धीमहि 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 तन्नः सोमः प्रचोदयात्. So Shankahastaya vidmahe nidhishwaraya dhimahi. The Lord Somaha having Shankha in the hands and the Ishvara of all the Nidhi. And we have done it vidmahe, dhimahi and prachodayat as we do every day. That Bhagavan Soma, Chandra and Bhagavan Shiva, their kindness, compassion to all the living beings we all know. And Nidhishwaraya Dhimahi, all the Jnana Nidhi is the one for which they are the Ishwaras. So we meditated on them, did the puja, then Tannaha Somaha Prachodayat. The only thing we ask every day is to bless us with the all required abilities, conveniences for our Adhyatmika Pragati. Friends, today's Veda Mantra Ucharana, only 3 Shanti Mantras we do. Bhadram Karnevihi, then Yaschandasam, then Shanno Mitra. That's enough. Om Bhadram Karnevihi Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Bhashyemakshaviryajatraha Sthirairangai Stushtvagam Sastanobhi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastarkshyo Arishtanemihi Swasti no Bruhaspatirdadatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Yaschandasam Vrishabho Vishwarupaha Chandobhyodhyamrutat Sambhabhuva Samendro Medhaya Sprunotu Amrutasya Devadharano Bhuyasam Shariram Me Vicharshanam Jihva Me Madhumattama Karna Abhyam Bhuri Vishruvam Brahmanah Koshosi Medhaya Pihitah Shrutam Me Gopaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanno Mitrah Shamvarunah Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Bruhaspatihi Shanno Vishnurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. That's enough today. We will have our 5 minutes of common sense thought, then just 15 minutes of Upanishadic class today. In today's common sense thought, friends, without the individuality, the life cannot be. We are given that individuality. But that individuality, when it comes the ego, then only the problems come to the ego also, and because of the ego, to the world around. So, in one's own language, we can understand healthy and unhealthy aspects of this individuality. We can see the five, six things for our simple understanding and help ourselves from maturing from the lowest to the highest. And it's all absolutely each one's discretion to think, to understand it, to see the importance of changing ourselves, to see the need of changing ourselves, etc. Nobody can impose on anyone. So, one is the very, very high level of what you call cruelistic individuality, himsatmaka vyaktitva, है ना? Wherein we have not even little of kindness, compassion, ready to go to any extent to destroy anybody or anything. Only one, always that thought. There are some people. The cruelest individuality, ego. Do we have that? Thank God. We should not. So, the cruel ego, we can talk about. Details you understand. Word is said, details can be easily understood. Second is what? Very, very arrogant individuality. Cruel individual, if he goes to any extent even to destroy the other one, the arrogant individuality is again always shows off himself. He wants to dominate, he wants to pose. Nobody is given any chance, to express themselves freely, independently. He has to be on the top, that's all. And he also is ready for troubling others, humiliating others, insulting others out of his own arrogance. But that personality is like that, they are made. You don't look at how much others are hurt because of that, etc. The third individuality is the in that arrogant individuality only you can add all the dominating individuality, the imposing one, the superseding, all of that you can. The third one is the selfish individuality. Always for me, what I get, whether others also are taken care or not, I don't bother, I don't mind at all. My selfishness has to be fulfilled. If I'm at the dining table, first I serve myself. If the chairs are there, first I will sit there. If any program, first I will be the person to be there. Selfish. मेरा फोटो अच्छी तरह आना चाहिए. Sometimes it become very nuisance to others also. Because of that selfish person, he loses sight of the situation around. Which situation is there? He is there in. There may be other people also at that time important. No, no, no. Selfish. He doesn't think. He says, मेरा फोटो अच्छा है, but शादी तो तेरा है ही नहीं. The शादी तो they are couples. I don't know, but मेरा फोटो होना है. That sort of selfish individualities. They don't know that they are how much troublesome to others. Even the other two also. The arrogant one and also the cruel criminal one. Individualities. Isn't it? These are all detrimental. In the if the other person also is equally like that, that cruel always are in terrible clash. So too the arrogant also always fighting, shouting at each other because both are arrogant. In any case it is. Both are arrogant. Wherever you are, like you're traveling, somebody is arrogant, we are also equally arrogant, mono. So then there will be the clash between egos, the fighting will be there. That bitterness, the pain, so much will be there. Both suffer, but they cannot come down in their ego and arrogance. Terrible clashes, terrible fightings. If that is there, ego, arrogance, and all, even they are highly profiled people politically or in business or in spirituality also, there will be rivalry all the time. Tough to get along, get together. But the other person should not be in the vicinity. That sort of thing will be there. So instead of these three egos, cruel ego, arrogant ego, selfish ego, instead of these three, can we have the understanding and accepting ego, which is very tough. Huh? It requires many, many lives of maturity. So that within minimum time, I am understanding the other person and I am accepting as he is. Basically, that is understanding and accepting individuality or ego. Anybody I understand and accept as they are because they are like that. Their nature is like that. In their evolutionary ladder, they are at that level, isn't it? A little maturity, little open intellect required for such sort of thinking and understanding. Wherever we are. So the toughest thing is to understand and accept other person's individuality. When my ego individuality is more important to me, then either I don't think to understand, I don't think the need to understand. Sometimes even understood, but that acceptance will not be there. So more maturity, more sacrifice required to understand and accept others. That sort of individuality is safe for itself. Because I understand you, I accept you, therefore I am saving myself. This is a minimum thing. In the earlier three egos or any such ones, we are the first ones to suffer. Then to take the revenge, we trouble other also. Okay. Then little better individualities, the individuality of love, the loving individuality. It is higher. That love is out of spiritual standpoint or ground, or out of the humanitarian ground, or out of, yes, just I can love, therefore I am loving. Some people are there, okay, I can love, therefore I am loving, that's all. Very loving individualities, isn't it? And they're so careful in expressing the love as it is required, if not, okay. But they have in the heart. And the sixth individuality can be the service individuality, serving ego. Always ready to look at everybody and they serve. Whether the other person is great महात्मा भी है या कोई छोटे बच्चे भी हैं, but their attitude is always how I can be useful to others. They are beautiful individualities. तैयार है सबको सेवा करने के लिए. So much punya without their knowing, they go on earning. And if they are not careful, others will misuse him. That's okay. But he has to be matured. In all these discussions, the minimum maturity goes without saying. It is expected that we should not be a doormat to others and all that. So, this is the sixth individuality of serving. Yes, wherever I am ready to serve more than what I take from others. Like our Gurudev says, producing more than what we consume, giving more than what we take, serving others all the time, instead of ourselves asking to serve. Sixth one, last but not the least, is the no ego is the ego, which is a spiritual height. Isn't it? Functionally, the individuality is coming, playing it, then it's just merging in Aham Brahmasmi, which is the maturity of many, many, many lives of spiritual knowledge, spiritual sadhana, spiritual experience, and then that practice that express in the world as an individual as per the requirement for the world. So these are the Sapta Ahankara, which can be spoken for 1 hour, 2 hours. We just said for 5 minutes. So the cruel individuality, the arrogant individuality, the selfish individuality, the understanding and accepting individuality, then the serving, loving individuality, then the serving individuality. Six, the last one is no ego level. Ahankara Rahita Aham. Very beautiful. At the for that purpose, and then all the time, whoever are in front, what they require from this person who is already in the self, that thing comes out. Sometimes it can be love, sometimes it can be scolding. He knows it. I am not the one doing, the self is doing because of that person deserving in his own interest. Mast rehta. Even the one who receives all the scoldings also, not even little of misunderstanding he'll have because he knows it. I deserve it, therefore I got it. मस्त कोई कई जगह पे गुरु शिष्यों के बीच में होता है. Guru scolds the Shishya, but Shishya understands, yeah, Guru is improving me, he is guiding me, he is maturing me, therefore all accept. So in that way, this is our today's beautiful discussion on our common sense thought. It can be elaborated, but main thoughts are shared. Contemplate and see where do we stand ourselves. Then go to the next level. And most of us definitely at least are in the, if not the ultimate Brahma Jnana Nirahankara Sthiti, at least we must be in the first stage of the understanding and accepting level. That saves our mind. First, apne aap to bach hona. Then, if possible, shift into the other three of loving and serving and no ego. But the earlier three ones are very painful. Let us try as best as possible to avoid all of them. All the three of them. They mature us as a sadhaka. They help us in many ways. Isn't it? Come what may, whichever position we have, whatever the money we have, whatever the knowledge we gain, whatever sadhana we are doing, it's okay. No arrogance, no cruelty, no selfishness. And very careful. And some sensitive thought is, no, no, I am doing it to help others only. The other doesn't need, he doesn't want to get educated or scolded by you. ये थोड़ा समझने में टाइम लगता है लोगों को. When 100 people respect me, I get a egoistic position. Then I feel I can dominate others. I can tell others, suggest others. So it becomes another embarrassing situation. थोड़ा बच के रहना. Okay. Om 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 Sahana Bhavatu Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Yairime Gurubhi Purvam Shankaram Shankaracharyam Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Shruti Smriti Purananam Om Sukrute Dhikrute Bahuda Bhavato Om Jagatim Avitum Kalitakkrutayo Brahmanandam Parama Sukadam Brahmane Shrutimatre समस्त ब्रह्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः. संकल्पः तेषां कृपया उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्य बोधेन मोक्ष प्राप्त्यर्थं सनातन धर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थं धर्म संस्थापकानां निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थं श्वेताश्वतर उपनिषदः पारायणम् अध्ययनम् आदिशंकर भाष्य समेत साधना प्रयत्न मोक्षार्थम वयम सर्वे करिष्यामहे. ओम नित्यानंदम निराधारम. Friends, today we'll chant only mantras 19, 20, 21. Three are there, that will be done. Om athatrutiyodhyayah. Om apanipado javano grahita. Is that the one we have to do? Pashyatya chakshusya shunotya karnaha. From 17 onwards, 16, 17, 18. 19, 20, huh, 19 and 20 of the fourth chapter. Om Naina Murdham na Tiryancha na Madhye Parijagrabhat na Tasya Pratima Asti Yasya Nama Mahad Yashaha na Sandrushe Tishtati Rupamasya na Jakshusha Pashyati Kaschanainam Hruda Hrudistam Manasaya Enam Evam Viduramrutaste Bhavanti. Short, that's it. In our study, we will try to finish this mantra today. Let's see the sixth chapter, the 12th mantra. Om Eko Vashe Niskriyanam Bahunam Ekam Bijam Bahudaya Karoti Tamatmastam Yenu Pashyanti Dhiraha Tesham Sukham Shashvatam Netaresham. Friends, it's all again depends on what individuality we have as a sadhaka or a samsara. Depending on that, we approach to those respective people, respective books, respective uh, listenings, contemplation, etc. In that also, again, even if we say, I am a Dhyatmik sadhaka, how deep, how intense, how serious, how sincere we are, depending on that is our attention, is our application uh, in that particular subject. For example, if these mantras we are studying, how deeply we understand these mantras, I fully, totally we accept those mantras, how we just take those meaning of the mantras into our heart and how we live up to it depends on how much deep I am the seeker. And if the person doesn't think himself as Adhyatmic sadhaka, these mantras he doesn't really listen also. If somebody is highly inspired, greatly committed sadhaka, he holds on to these mantras and he doesn't want anything else only. This is necessary as well as sufficient. Sadhakas can take. Such are the powers of these mantras. Like, Eko Vashi, Nishkriyanam Bahunam. So, what Ekam Bijam Bahuda Yakkarvati. Tamatmastamena Pashyanti Dhiraha Tesham Sukham Shashvatam Netare. Not even a little value given to that mantra. That proves where do I stand. In my individuality as a samsari or a sadhaka. If I am a deep sadhaka, then my attention just goes to this line. Tesham Sukham Shashvatam. To them, the Shashvata Sukha. And na Itaresham. Not for anybody else. These two words are enough to grasp, to drag the attention of this person so much that this shloka I'll A to Z thoroughly understand, master it, I live up to it. Because Shashvata Sukha ki baat ho rahi hai. And more than that, Naitaresha. Nobody else can have the Shashvata Sukha other than this being. And if this is a commercial advertisement, if it is some individual for his selfish purpose saying, then I can have lots of questions. Because this type of saying, this type of hype, this type of pulling the attention of people by giving the importance of things, everywhere in the world of business is done every day. But this is Shruti Mata, this is Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, this is Guru Parampara is speaking. This is time, from time immemorial, eternally given knowledge, taken knowledge. There was that botheration of doubting will no more be there because it is Shruti. तो श्रुति माता को हमसे कुछ पाना तो नहीं है ना that she is doing this type of advertisement or the Shwethashwathara she wants something from us. No, na? So nobody, there's no selfishness from that side. Therefore, it's not a commercial type of advertisement. On the other hand, the Shruti Mata and the Guru are equal, like that universal mother only, who want everybody's total evolution and moksha. Therefore, behind these mantras, so much of love and kindness and compassion are there. Then the other day I told you 4 days back, if you see, sometimes when you know the truth and to express the truth when you are highly matured becomes more tough and sensitive thing because your mind starts functioning, asking, how will they take? Will they receive it? Or will they object to it? Or do they get offended? Because we don't know which ego reacts what way. Here the Shrutimata and Guru say, at this point, no other point, at least at this point, come what may, let whatever the people understand, misunderstand, accept, don't accept, neither even refer, we don't bother. We express our infinite love and concern by proclaiming this truth. That is where we stop. कह देंगे हम जो भी हो लोग सुने या ना सुने समझे या ना समझे that is love, that is compassion, that what we are experiencing we want to share with you. Yes, whether you listen or not, you want it or not. Sometimes the best I give, but the worst response I get from the world because they don't want it. They don't like me. They hate me. Like if somebody hates me, I give him the best one. He'll be a worstly reacting person. You don't know. अब श्रुति माता का ये सेंटेंस सुनकर ना मुझे तो इतना मजा आता है, मतलब आनंदम, that तेषां सुखम शाश्वतम नैतरेषां, the courage to say that, asks for so much of love and compassion. Okay, I just gave an idea as to how the individuals respond to such great knowledge is given. An idea we discussed. Okay, so eko, one without second, nishkriyanam bahunam vashi. What an exhaustive discussion on this mantra has been done. Okay, finally from Gita also the quotation has come. Right, friends? Here in the Niskriyana Mahuna, Guru Maharaj has encashed that point, Shankara Bhagavan, and explained. Every jiva basically is a self. Every self or selves are not many. The self it is akarta and abhokta, nishkriya. He is nirguna, he is gunatita, he is kutastha. Now see this powerful, this most important discussion. The Maya Shakti, which is never independent and separate from that Paramatma, without the stuff or matter, it projects all these upadhis. And in the upadhis, it projects all the lakshanas, modifications, and activities. Qualities, lakshanas, modifications, vikara, and activity, functions of each of the upadhi. And if we are not alert, makes the self me only to get identified with upadhis and get bound by it. And it's like Abel mujhe maar type. That you only asked that I'll come to your house, you went there, and then you are stuck up there. उसने बुलाया नहीं, आप खुद ही गए हो, अब वहां से बाहर नहीं आ पा रहे हो, या दुखी हो गए हो. In the same way, the self identifying with the upadhis wala, with in between sentences that the infinite power of the self only is projecting the upadhis, projecting only, not really created. And with the upadhi, I only am identifying and suffering. I only get my house and I only am suffering. I only buy my car and I only suffer. I only call this fellow as friend. I only suffer. These are outer examples we gave. All these we feel interested are important because basically I identified with my upadhis. So I only projected the upadhi, I only gave reality to it, I identified with them, and through that having become jiva, now I am struggling in the world. This is a crux of the Vedanta. If you can catch it, and if you maintain it, most important thing in Vedanta is whatever the knowledge we are catching or understanding, we should remember it, we should maintain it. For that only the Manana Chintan required. Thereafter, it's a big task to train ourselves to live up to that knowledge. सबसे important काम है. When that is sufficiently done, then our whole personality having the scriptural knowledge as the basis to express. Then only we are safe. Till that time, as we saw in our common sense thought, ego clash, then the ignorance keeps on functioning. The entire mind's gambling of, all the thoughts of, what do you call them, emotions, of projections of the mind continuously function. It will create hell. That's what we are going through. Okay. We have explained one sentence again, निष्क्रियाणाम बहुना. ओके. फिर आगे जाकर हमने देखा, बिकॉज ऑफ द उपाधि, कर्ता, भोक्ता, सुखी, दुखी, पुरुषः, स्थूलः, मनुष्यः, अमुष्यः, पुत्रः, अस्य नप्ता. All these identities are with the upadhis only. Buddhi, mana, indriya, sharira, upadhis. These identities. That's what is jiva suffering. Okay. So eko vashi nishkriyana bahuna. That's it enough. And Gita shlokas quotation given, and it was also explained exhaustively. We will do only the next point today. Ekam bijam bahudha yah karoti. What Bhagavan Shankara? Ekam, one. Bijam, seed. Bahuda, manifold. Karoti, he does. One bija, he makes many. That's the Paramatma. That's the meaning of word. Ekam bijam bahuda karoti yaha. Saha Paramatma, knowing him in our own heart as ourself, gives us the Shashrata Sukha, and also the moksha will be coming in the next loka. Sukha and moksha are same. Next, ekam bijam means bijasthaniyam bhuta sukshmam. That's what. What is the bija here? Simple. Bhuta sukshmam means the subtlest aspect of the grossest words we are seeing. That is a bija. And what is that bija for all these things, which is called as bhuta suksham here, is the mula prakriti only. It is one, homogeneous, same, undifferentiated it is. But it is that pure Paramatma's presence, that bija rupa aprakatita samyavastha sthita mula prakriti gets disturbed. Then it only now, because imbalanced, appears as sattvic, rasic, tamasic gunas. Then from these three gunas only, the entire world of things and beings and activities and experiences, all of them are projected. That's the meaning of ekam bijam bahudha yah karoti. So Paramatma's presence only making this Maya Shakti, which is ekam bijam, express as this world of multiplicity. In whichever the language you understand it as per your background of how many shastras you have heard, studied, and how many Mahatmas you have heard. Ekam bijam bahuda yah karoti. One most common famous way of saying is what? Vyashti, individual, samashti, total, sthula, the gross, sukshma, the subtle, and karana, the causal. This is the whole universe. Vyashti is samashti, sthula, sukshma, karana in the vyashti, then sthula, sukshma, karana in the samashti. This is called the whole universes. That is the meaning of word bahudha. Yah karoti, the Lord who is making one Maya Prakriti to be manifesting in so many fold. Ekam bijam bahuda yah karoti. बस एक सीड, like that day we have explained, no? बीज एक ही होता है, but in that the potentiality for the tree to express with all its branches, secondary branches, the leaves, flowers, fruits, all of them are there. As it is exposed to the required atmosphere, from that seed, bahuda karoti, you can see. So too, as it is said in Gita, in 15th chapter, in other Upanishads, in different language, describing the whole world with samsara, whole world with vruksha, then they explain to us the bija of that vruksha. So it's Paramatma, in whose presence the entire Vishwa of Baudha is being appearing, not really created. Okay. The stuff for everything is Satchidananda Brahman only. But that Brahman is one without second, unchanged, unmoving. And yet it is being projected to be in so many forms of the world by that our inner Maya. Like innocent rope is there. But it is my mind's Maya which projected a snake with a hood and a skin and a tail and a movement. अरे यहाँ किधर है सब? Nowhere it is there. Any number of, how much number of time, long time of half an hour, we are afraid of that snake. We got sweating and we told others, सांप आया है, कुछ करेंगे. How much are we are doing all the nonsense? That time the rope is rope only. So to this world is real, I am real, these upadhis are real, people are real, things are real, I want them, they want me, I will beat them, they beat me. इतना भी nonsense करो. In spite of all of that, the Brahman is Brahman only. Rope is rope. The one who gets this information, luckiest one. Okay. Tamatmastam, all these things tomorrow we'll study. Om, 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 Om. Om, 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 Om. Om, 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 Om. Om Purnamada Shrutimatre Namaha Tatsad Brahmarpanamastu. Today we'll just stop for some reason. 10 minutes Gita.